Hey everyone, today we're seeing how Jesus is not a hometown hero. Jesus left that place and came to his hometown, and his disciples followed him. On the Sabbath, he began to teach in the synagogue. Many who heard him were surprised. Where did this guy get all this? What's this wisdom he's been given? What about the powerful acts accomplished through him? Isn't this the carpenter? Isn't he Mary's son, the brother of James, Joseph, Judas, and Simon? Aren't his sisters here with us? They were scandalized by him. And Jesus said to them, "Prophets are honored everywhere except in their own hometowns, among their relatives, and in their own households." He was unable to do any miracles there, except that he placed his hands on a few sick people and healed them. He was amazed at their lack of faith. So, because I have young children, the song "We Don't Talk About Bruno" is in my head all the time, and maybe now yours as well. For if you're one of the few people who hasn't seen Encanto yet, just so you know, it's about this family that has all these magical powers, and one of them, Bruno, has the gift of seeing the future. And he ends up getting basically kicked out of the family. He's forced to go away because nobody likes what he has to tell them about what's going to happen. And so what we see is that Bruno and Jesus actually have the same problem. That because of their prophetic abilities, they're not welcomed by their family or in their homes or hometown. And so there's a couple reasons why this tends to happen to prophets. First is we know them, or at least we think we do, right? Well, Jesus can't be special. We know where he comes from. We know his family. We know what he did growing up. You know, in my own experience, I've got to preach at my home church once, and what I said then is that it's hard to preach to people who have changed your diapers. You know, they may think, "Oh, that's so cute that little Chris is up there," but they're probably not going to take you that seriously, and that's partly what Jesus is experiencing here. And then the second thing is that we don't like what prophets have to say. Right? We blame them for causing problems when actually they're simply pointing them out. Right? In that song, nobody likes Bruno because they say he makes hurricanes happen or he kills their pet fish, when he was just telling them that's what's going to happen. And then Jesus is considered disrespectful for questioning harmful religious leaders, or I've been called divisive for pointing out uncomfortable problems that the gospel should address. Nobody likes prophets. Just ask Jeremiah, who got thrown in a pit. But we need those who are willing to speak uncomfortable truths. You know, we don't evaluate their words based on whether we know them or if we like what they have to say. We ask, are they actually pointing us to the work of God? If we ignore them, we limit what God is actually able to do, right? One of the surprising things of this story is that Jesus isn't able to perform hardly any miracles. It reminds us that God's work is always a partnership between the human and the divine. And if we're shutting out, we're not involved in that process, we're limiting what God is doing. See, prophets, I've heard it said, are here to comfort the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable. And so we have to be prepared for both if we're actually going to hear what God is saying. We can't shut them out if we want to see what God has to say.